The main goal for us is to have the film be seen by as many people as possible. It's eyeballs. It's really trying to take James's story and take the story of the ice and climate change and really share that as much as possible. I'd say more than anything that will be kind of the success for us, hoping that it really can get out there and get seen. To the degree that the film can have impact and potentially change policy or influence, the American perception around climate change, we hope that it can accomplish that, and I guess we'll just see over time how that shapes out.
And is that same for you, James? What
Oh,
you hope
absolutely.
people will come
Sure.
away with from this? Yeah.
I want people to be moved, to really get it in their hearts and their minds, and be able to recognize that we're living through a period of really epic change on the planet, and that this is not an abstraction for the future. This is happening now.
Yeah.
My background was in still photography, and in college I started doing cinematography. And I just worked with a bunch of other directors and shot their films, some documentaries, some narrative films, all short films. And I just got into filmmaking through cinematography and loved the process, loved everything that it brought. I was used to a world of still photography where you were working often by yourself, you were chasing people, you were chasing stories and events that were going on, marches and things like that, where you had to just keep up with everything else. And then when I started doing cinematography, I was working with a team of 20 people, and everybody was putting all their effort into making this one shot as good as possible. And you've got makeup people doing their thing, and the actors are doing their thing, and you've got a whole team of people doing lighting and dealing with the cameras, all trying to make the picture as good as possible. And it was such a pleasant switch to go from running around frantically just trying to keep up with the story to actually everybody working creatively to create something together. And I really enjoyed that process, and I really enjoyed making films in that capacity, and that was kind of the introduction for me. And I love shooting documentaries and narrative films as well. I think they're different skill sets, but they can inform each other very, very effectively. And I just kept shooting a lot of stuff, and then ended up directing projects after that, and it's all just kind of continued from there.
And how did this segue into this project?
And with the Extreme Ice Survey, as James was getting started, I came on just to help shoot, and just to shoot video of everything. I ended up helping out with cameras and installing stuff and carrying gear or whatever, but really it was just trying to document something that we knew was special. We didn't know what would come of it, but we needed just to have a record of what we were creating. And that evolved over time, and we started getting more and more footage, and the time lapses started coming in, and then we decided that we had enough material to make a good film.
Terrific. And has your own approach to filmmaking been influenced by James's aesthetic or his?
Absolutely.
his
I think
professional?
maybe not the approach to filmmaking as opposed to the approach to cinematography and the approach to photography and image making in general. And they do go hand in hand with filmmaking in general, but I think it's been, I'm going to pretend he's not here for a second, but he's an incredible artist, he's an incredible photographer, and it has been such a valuable learning experience for me just to work with him and to shadow him and to see how he thinks in different scenarios and how he approaches different scenarios and the level of effort and dedication he'll put into making one picture. And I think if a cinematographer would carry that same level of enthusiasm to shooting their own films, whether they be narratives or documentaries, I think the level of artistry and the level of imagery would rise to a level comparable to James's photography. And that's something that, all the stuff that I shot, and Adam and the rest of the team, as we were all filming throughout the whole process, we always had in the back of our mind, what would James do in this scenario? So when we're shooting a time lapse, how would James set this up? And we would set something up, and then often Adam and I would find ourselves talking to each other like, James will probably move the camera here instead. And then we would try that and give that a shot, and sure enough, the images would often be better than we started out.
Fantastic.
Well, thank you, Jeffrey. I had no idea.